Hey brother, let me ask you something. Have you ever tried really hard to impress a woman? Texted her all day, bought her gifts, told her how much she meant to you, only for her to slowly lose interest? Painful, right? But what if I told you the real secret to keeping a woman interested isn't doing more? It's actually doing less. Yep, you heard that right. And no, I'm not talking about playing games, ghosting her, or acting cold. I'm talking about something powerful, something ancient, something that stoic men have known for centuries. The power of detachment, and most importantly, the power of absence. Wait, how can less be more? Here's the truth. No one teaches young men. Women don't stay attracted because of how much you give. They stay attracted because of how strong, grounded, and self-respecting you are. When you stop trying to win her approval, when you stop chasing her validation, and when you start living your own life fully, something magical happens. She starts to lean in. She starts to feel a pull. She starts to invest more without you even asking. The psychological trick that changes everything. This entire script is about one powerful shift. Stop giving all your energy away. Start giving it to yourself first. Because when you do that, two things happen. One, you feel powerful and free. You're not waiting on her texts or moods. Two, she senses that you're rare, and rare things are always more attractive. You stop being just another guy and become the man who can walk away if something doesn't feel right. That's powerful. That's peaceful. And that's what keeps a woman hooked in a deep, emotional way. Why chasing kills attraction and leaves you empty? Let's get real for a second. Most guys have been told a lie their whole life. They've been taught that if you really like a girl, you're supposed to show her constantly. Text her good morning every day. Compliment her non-stop. Do favors. Be sweet. Be available all the time. Sounds romantic, right? But here's the cold truth. That's not attraction. That's desperation in disguise. Why chasing feels so draining? When you chase, you're basically saying, "You're more valuable than me, so I'll keep proving why you should like me." Oof, that's not love. That's low self-worth. Chasing creates imbalance. You're always giving, and she's always receiving. And the second someone stops having to work for something, they start valuing it less. Every single time. Think about it. Have you ever downloaded a free app and never used it? Or taken a gift for granted because you didn't earn it? Now imagine that happening with you in a relationship. That's what chasing does. What women actually want, but rarely say. Here's something women won't tell you directly. They don't want a man who puts them on a pedestal. They want a man who values himself enough to protect his time, respect his energy lightning bolt, and not beg for attention. They want a man who has his own life, his own direction, his own vibe. Someone they can look up to, not someone who's always looking at them for approval. Because deep down, They're not testing how much you like them. They're testing how much you like yourself. Stoic reminder. Your energy is sacred. You've got to stop giving your energy away like it's nothing. Every text, every thought, every moment you spend obsessing over her, that's energy leaking out of you. A stoic man doesn't leak. He contains. He builds. He strengthens himself from the inside out. And by doing that, he becomes naturally attractive. Not because he's playing a role, but because he's living his truth. The silent power of detachment. Let me ask you something, brother. Have you ever noticed how the less you care, the more they seem to show up? It's wild, right? You stop texting as much. You get busy with your own life. You let go a little. And boom, she starts liking your pictures, sending "I miss you" texts, or asking where you've been. That's not magic. That's the power of detachment. What is detachment really? Detachment isn't ignoring her. It's not being cold or distant just to get a reaction. Detachment means I value myself enough to not depend on anyone for my happiness. Read that again, slowly. Because most guys are attached to outcomes. They say things like, I hope she texts me back. What if she loses interest? I have to keep her attention or she'll leave. But when you're detached, you flip it. You say, if she's for me, she'll stay. If she leaves, she was never mine to begin with. Either way, I'll be good. That's alpha energy. That's stoic strength. Why detachment attracts women instantly? Here's the deep truth. Most men are addicted to approval. They want to be liked, needed, wanted. And when a woman feels that pressure, she pulls back. Every time. But when you're detached, you don't force things, don't chase, don't stress. And that creates space. Space for her to feel something. Space for her to wonder. Space for attraction to breathe. Women need mystery. They need contrast. They need to feel like you are not always right there, ready to jump. And when they feel your presence fade just a little, they start to lean in. Not because you're manipulating, but because you're finally living for you. Stoic reminder. You are the prize. You are not chasing a woman. You are chasing growth, purpose, power, inner peace. You're not a beggar. You're a builder, brick. You're creating a life so rich, so full, that she either wants to join in or watch you from a distance, wishing she had stayed closer. Why chasing never works and what to do instead. Let's get real for a second. Have you ever chased a girl? Like texting her all the time, liking every post, trying to prove you're good enough? Be honest, man. We've all been there. But here's the truth that nobody told you growing up. The more you chase, the faster she runs. Crazy, right? You think you're showing love. She sees neediness. You think you're proving yourself. She feels pressure. You think you're being romantic. She feels like she's already won and loses interest. That's because chasing flips the balance. Masculine versus feminine energy. Let me break this down simply. Masculine energy leads. Feminine energy responds. When you start chasing, you're no longer leading. You're following her emotions. You're waiting for her to like you before you like yourself. You're waiting for her to approve of you before you move with confidence. And that, my brother, is backwards. The fix: stop proving, start living. Here's the shift. You don't chase. You build. You don't prove. You improve. You stop putting her at the center of your life, and instead, you make your mission the center. Let her orbit around your purpose, not the other way around. Because when you live with intention, when you're in the gym, on your grind, mastering your craft, she feels it. She sees that you're not living to impress her. You're living because you have something greater calling you. Real talk. Women don't want to be your everything. If a woman becomes your entire world, she won't feel safe. She'll feel pressured. Because deep down, she doesn't want to be your reason for existing. She wants to be part of a man's already powerful life. One that's full of vision, adventure, discipline, and direction. You give her space to admire you, to desire you, to chase you. But only when you stop chasing her. Stoic reminder. Let your silence speak. You don't need to explain your worth. You don't need to fight for attention. You need to work in silence. Let your success speak. Let your vibe speak. Let your energy speak. Trust me, that unbothered energy, it says more than words ever could. Comment below. No more chasing. I lead with purpose. Let the world know you've made the shift. No more proving. No more begging. No more chasing women who don't see your value. You're becoming the kind of man they never forget. The power of scarcity. Why less of you is more attractive. Let me hit you with something powerful. What's rare becomes valuable. Think about it. Gold is valuable because it's rare. Diamonds are expensive because they're hard to find. Even the sun feels more special after days of rain. Now here's the cold truth. If you're always available, you lose your value. Always texting, always around. If you're always replying in seconds. If you're always free to talk. If you're canceling plans just to be with her, she'll never respect your time. Because you're telling her without saying it, my life isn't full. You're my whole world. That doesn't feel attractive. That feels empty. And women can feel that energy, even if they can't explain it. The scarcity principle in attraction. It's psychological, man. The less someone sees you, the more they think about you. Let that sink in. That space you create. Those quiet gaps in communication. Those moments when you're just doing your thing, focused on your path. That's when curiosity is born. That's when attraction builds. She starts wondering, where is he? What's he up to? Why isn't he texting me like before? Boom. You just flipped the script. Your time should be expensive. When you give your time to everyone, it's cheap. But when your time is protected, focused, and aligned with your purpose, it becomes a luxury. Women want a man whose attention is earned, not thrown around for free. So protect your energy, protect your schedule, say no more often, even to her, because your mission isn't to be liked, it's to become legendary. Scarcity is not a game. It's a standard. Let's get this clear. You're not pretending to be unavailable. You're not ignoring her to make her miss you. You're just busy becoming better. You're just focused on your goals. You're building, growing, learning, grinding. You are not using scarcity to manipulate her. You are embodying it because you respect yourself. Stoic. Quote for the soul. He who values himself will not be found where he is not valued. Read that again. This isn't about ego. It's about self-respect. It's about choosing yourself first. Emotional mastery, the calm that makes her chase. Let me ask you something real. When things don't go your way, do you stay calm? When she pulls away, says something cold, or starts acting distant? Do you react or do you respond? Because this, right here, separates the men who lead relationships from the men who get led around by their emotions. Most guys react. And that's the problem. When a woman acts moody, when she doesn't text back fast enough, or when she tries to test your strength, most men crumble. They send that double text. They try to explain themselves. They get angry, emotional, needy, and once that happens, the attraction is gone. You can't lead a woman if you can't even lead yourself. Let that one hit. The Stoic edge, mastering your inner world. Stoic men don't avoid emotions. They feel them, but they control them. They don't yell when they're angry. They don't beg when they're scared. They don't chase when they feel rejected. They pause, breathe, reflect, respond with calm. And you know what that does? It makes her feel safe. Because when you're calm, she relaxes. When you're grounded, she respects you. Calmness is power. In chaos, the calmest person always leads. In relationships, the man who controls his reactions is the one who controls the direction. That doesn't mean you suppress your emotions. It means you take a moment and ask, is this situation worth my peace? Will reacting emotionally make this better or worse? Most of the time, silence is stronger than shouting. Stillness is more powerful than chasing. She needs a rock, not a roller coaster. Look, she doesn't need you to be a robot, but she also doesn't want a man who flips out over every text, every delay, every mood swing. She wants a man who stays rooted, a man who doesn't get shaken by small storms. You become more attractive when you become emotionally unshakable. Because guess what? Most men can't do this. Most men panic, but not you. Not anymore. Stoic quote for the soul. He who angers you conquers you. Elizabeth Kenny. Let that sink in. You're done being conquered by your own impulses. You're done giving her the power to control your mood. From now on, you control you. And that's what makes her feel magnetically drawn to you. Scarcity. Why being less available makes you more desired. Let me hit you with something most men never hear. You don't become attractive by always being around. You become attractive by being missed. That's right. The man who is always available becomes invisible. Why chasing kills. Attraction. You text her all day. You're always free. You cancel your plans the second she calls. At first she might like the attention, but over time she gets bored. She pulls away, and you're left wondering what went wrong. Here's the truth. When you're too easy to get, you're too easy to forget. Think about the things you value most. They're rare, aren't they? Gold, diamonds, VIP access. You don't get them everywhere. They're limited, scarce, valuable. You've got to see your time and energy the same way. Scarcity creates value. A stoic man doesn't try to be in everyone's face. He's focused on his goals, his mission, his craft. He doesn't text back right away because he's building. He doesn't hang around because he's going places. And what does that do? It makes women wonder, why isn't he chasing me like the others? What's he doing that's more important than me? Who else is getting his attention? That's the power of scarcity. That's the silent whisper that says, I am not easy to access because I value myself. This isn't about playing games. Let's be clear. You're not ignoring her on purpose. You're not acting cold to make her want you. You're just focused on your life. And in doing that, absence happens naturally. Your time becomes sacred. Your energy becomes expensive. She feels that. And it makes her respect you more. Think about you more. Crave your presence more. Your presence becomes a privilege. The more you pull back into your own world, the more she wants to be a part of it. That's not manipulation. That's natural desire. We value what we can't always have. And when you master this truth, you never have to chase again. Because now, she's chasing you. Stoic quote for the soul. Never value anyone more than you value your peace. Stoic wisdom. Let that one hit deep. Because if you always make yourself available, you lose that peace, that edge, that mystery. But when you protect your space, she leans in, wondering what makes you so different. No. Emotional mastery. The calm that drives her crazy. Let me tell you something most people never understand. Emotional control is power. Not loud power, not aggressive power, but silent, unshakable, magnetic power. The kind of power that doesn't yell. It whispers and still gets heard. What most men do wrong. Most guys react to everything. She takes long to reply. They panic. She posts a selfie. They overthink it. She says she needs space. They beg, chase, get angry. That's not power. That's emotional chaos. And women feel it like a storm in your soul. You think she'll feel sorry for you? You think she'll stay because you're emotional? No, brother. She wants a man who can weather the storm, not become one. The stoic response. A stoic man feels everything, but reacts to very little. He can be hurt, but still centered. He can be unsure, but still grounded. He can be challenged, but still calm. And that calmness? It's not boring. It's insanely attractive. Because it tells her, this man doesn't panic. He's not controlled by his feelings. He's the rock in the middle of chaos, in a world full of emotional boys. Be the calm man. Don't suppress. Master. This isn't about shutting off your feelings. It's about knowing what to do with them. You feel jealousy? Don't lash out. Understand it. Rise above it. You feel fear? Don't run. Face it. Let it sharpen you. You feel anger? Don't explode. Channel it. Use it for purpose. A man who can master his emotions can master his whole life. Emotional control builds trust. Here's a secret. Women test your emotions to feel safe. They'll push your buttons. They'll challenge your calm. Not because they're evil, but because they want to know, can I trust this man with my chaos? If you explode, get needy, lose your edge. She feels less safe, less drawn in. But when you stay steady, she relaxes into you. She trusts you. She desires you. The scarcity principle. Why less of you makes her want more. Let me ask you something powerful. Have you ever wondered why women chase the man who's too busy, but ignore the one who's always available? It's not because they're cruel. It's not because they like pain. It's because of one timeless truth. We value what is rare. We ignore what is everywhere. That's the law of scarcity. And if you don't use it, you lose the game before it even starts. The mistake of always being around. Most guys think love is proven by how much you give. More time, more texts, more attention, more presence. But that energy smothers her. It makes her feel like she already has all of you. No mystery, no chase, no value. You become like background noise. Always there, easy to ignore. And the moment she knows she can have you anytime, she stops thinking about you altogether. How scarcity affects the female mind. Think about it like this. You walk past a diamond every day on the street. Would you care about it? Number. But if that diamond was locked behind glass, guarded, only seen once a year, now it has value. Now it's special. Same with your presence, your time, your energy. When you're always available, you're not valuable. When you're rare, you're unforgettable. But wait, this isn't a game. Don't fake it. Don't act busy. Don't pretend. Just actually be busy. Be so focused on your life, your work, your mission, that your absence is natural. You don't pull away to test her. You simply stay on your path. And if she wants to join, great. But you don't stop your life just to keep her attention. That's not love. That's weakness. And it kills attraction. A man on purpose is rare. Women aren't looking for a man who makes her his whole life. They want to be part of something bigger. Your mission, your purpose, your world. When you're not always available, it signals something powerful. I'm focused. I'm building something. I don't revolve around anyone. And that's rare. That's attractive. That's alpha. Real life. Example, 2 men text her. Guy 1. Good morning, babe. What are you doing? Miss you. Guy 2. No text all morning. Later he sends. Had a solid workout. Closed a deal. Hope your day's going strong. Who do you think she's thinking about all day? Guy 2 didn't neglect her. He was just living and inviting her to witness a strong life. That's scarcity in action. Oxen, the calm, confident, stoic man. She can't forget. Let me ask you a final question. When chaos hits, when emotions run high, when she tests your strength, who are you? Are you the man who reacts or the man who remains calm? This is what separates boys from men. It's not muscles, not money, not looks. It's emotional mastery. It's stillness under pressure. It's the calm inside the storm. Emotions are not the enemy, but your reaction might be. Listen. Stoics never said to suppress emotions. That's weakness. They said feel them, face them, but don't let them control you. You feel anger? Cool. You feel fear? Understand it. You feel insecure? Welcome it. But never act out of those emotions. That's how weak men live. Screaming, chasing, over-texting, needing attention to feel okay. You, however, you breathe, you pause, you respond with power. Why emotional mastery attracts her deeply? Women test men emotionally, not because they're cruel, but because they're wired to feel safe around strength. When you lose control, you feel dangerous to her, unstable, untrustworthy. But when you stay calm, she feels safe, she relaxes, she trusts you, and she desires you. Because a man who can handle himself can handle anything. Emotional control is self-control. Here's the secret. How you deal with your emotions is how you deal with life. You feel anxious? Do you scroll all day or face it? You feel rejected? Do you beg for attention or walk away in peace? You feel lonely? Do you chase or create? This is the battlefield. And every moment, you choose your weapon, reaction or restraint. The stronger your self-control, the more attractive, powerful, and peaceful you become. Stillness is strength. You don't need to be loud. You don't need to prove anything. You walk into a room and people feel you're calm. She texts you with drama. You don't match her energy. You anchor it. She pulls back. You stay centered. You don't panic. You are the mountain, not the wind. The root of all confidence. And brother, let's not forget confidence. Real confidence doesn't come from cars, clothes, or compliments. It comes from one thing, knowing that no matter what happens, you'll be okay. Because you have your purpose. Because you've built your life. Because you're not seeking approval. You've already approved of yourself. That's the kind of confidence that turns heads, that makes women curious, that makes people respect you without you saying a word. Final Stoic words. Waste no more time arguing what a good man should be. Be one. Marcus Aurelius. You've read the words. You've felt the truth. Now it's time to live it. If this spoke to your soul, drop a comment below. I am calm. I am confident. I am complete. Subscribe if you're ready to stop chasing and start leading. And remember, you are the prize. You are the path. And you are enough, even in silence. Stay stoic. Stay strong. Until next time.